Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a vinegar dip on all of my aquarium equipment. As you can see here, it's got quite a lot of algae on it. I have already tried to scrape a lot of it off, so it's not looking as bad as it sometimes does, but it's been bugging me for a while, so I thought I'd give it a really good clean. I haven't tried this method before cleaning my equipment. I usually just get a blade and scrape it off, but let's see if this works together. So here you can see just how covered in algae all of my things are, and it's sort of starting to affect how the equipment works. It's not pushing through water as well as I would like. Hopefully by giving it a clean, it'll work a little bit better. The first thing you'll have to do, which I have already done, is go ahead and remove all of your equipment from your fish tank. So I just went down to the store and grabbed a brand new bucket. I always like to grab myself a brand new bucket because then I know it's clean. I also got myself some plain white vinegar. You don't want anything that's pickled, just plain white vinegar. I also grabbed some cotton balls to clean the insides of my tubes and things. This is to clean the outside, a bit of a scour, because I know the algae can stick on really well, and that's what I'll use the toothbrush for as well, just to give things a good scrubbing. Okay, so what we're going to do from here is just place all of your equipment into the empty bucket and make sure all cords are tucked away. I can't remove this one off my wave maker. And now we're going to start filling the bucket up. So I started by filling up with water first. I used one of these small jugs and I used 2.5 of them. Initially I filled up with 4 of them, and then I realized that the solution was going to be too diluted by the time I added all the vinegar in, so I ended up taking some out. But basically I added 2.5 of these, which is just over a litre, so it's about 1 litre and a quarter. So here I am making sure all of my equipment is taken apart so the solution has a good shot of getting all the algae off in all the nooks and crannies. And so here I am doing the math, realizing that I've added too much water, so I'm going to go ahead and remove it, which leaves me with a total of 1 litre and 250 mils of water. And I'll do the same dose of vinegar, so it's 1 part water to 1 part vinegar. Obviously, if you have bigger equipment or a lot of equipment, you can use more water and therefore more vinegar, but I'm not actually using this for that much equipment, so I didn't need a big solution. And now we can let everything sit in the bucket for about 1 hour. Alright, so this is an hour later. Everything is pretty much looking the same, but when you start rubbing it, it does come off. So the algae has definitely started to loosen up. It only took an hour for this result, so let's go ahead and start scrubbing this all clean. So what I did is I just got some paper towel, placed it on the bench, and then took everything out of the bucket and assessed it. And then I grabbed my toothbrush and just started scrubbing away. I found that different cleaning materials worked better for certain things, so sometimes I use a toothbrush, sometimes I use the scour. I think the toothbrush was probably the easiest thing to use, but honestly it came up really well. It did take a while. This footage is sped up, but it was about half an hour of scrubbing, so your hands do kind of go all funny and weird. I found that with the harder plastics, the toothbrush and scour worked really well, but on things like suction cups, I couldn't actually get that to work, so I just ended up using my fingernails, and that worked well too. This particular piece, I was really happy with how it came up because the inside ended up being so clean. So I cleaned like half of it to show you guys the difference. And look at this, ready? Look at that, it is so much cleaner on the left hand side, it's amazing. So I was super happy with how the insides of this cleaned up. I managed to get the toothbrush to fit inside of it. My other tube was too skinny, so I couldn't get my toothbrush inside of it, so it didn't clean up as well. So what I tried to do for this one is putting a cotton ball inside and basically pushing it back and forth to try and clean the inside, but it didn't work. I ended up soaking it for an additional hour and it didn't really work either, so unfortunately that one is still pretty dirty. I almost forgot, make sure you take apart your equipment really well. I almost forgot that metal rod you can see sticking out of my wave maker, and I found it in the sink just hanging on by a thread in my drain, so I almost lost that. So when you're taking apart your equipment, make sure that you keep everything very safe. Congratulations, everything is finally algae free. Make sure you give everything a really good scrubbing. I actually scrub mine under tap water. You can scrub it in aquarium water as well, but just make sure that any vinegar residue is gone. So I gave my things a good smell, and if they didn't smell like vinegar, they were safe to go back in the tank. So here are my results. As you can see, the wave maker has a bit of redness on it. I think that's just the dying algae, but it seems to be working a lot smoother now, which is great, and the outtake looks a lot better now too. And this is my intake part, so it'll clear this right up. I had just fed them at this stage, that's why my water looks like this. But you can see the difference here between the bottom one and this middle piece that I couldn't quite clean the inside of. It makes a really big difference. So if anyone has any advice on how I can clean the inside of this skinny one, that would be greatly appreciated. I think I'm going to try and get one of those metal straw cleaners and give that a shot. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helps, and I hope you give this method a try. I'd never tried it before and it worked really well, so I definitely recommend.